So if you ask 10 people if they're smarter than average, guess how many of them are going to say yes? 9 of those 10 people. But the truth is only 4 of them actually are. And the same thing happens when you ask 10 people if they have above average looks or above average driving skills, you name it. So this tendency to overestimate our abilities, it's actually a well-known phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And when you understand this, you're going to understand why most people will actually remain average and how you can actually beat the law of averages in your life and become truly extraordinary and have a life beyond what you ever imagined. Because here's the thing, you do not have to settle for average in your life when you know how to take action to break through the limits on your current level of ability and make more money, receive more recognition, make a greater impact on others, and just feel more fulfilled with your life. You don't want to make future choices based on your past, or you'll never get more than what you've had in the past. So I'm going to be giving you 4 tips for how to do this in this video so you can beat the law of averages and truly become extraordinary in your life, so you can have more and be more and do more and really live the life that you always imagined that you dreamed you would. My name is Marisa Murgatroyd, and I like to say that I turn everyday entrepreneurs into online superheroes so you can change the world from your living room. And there are some areas in my life where I am above average and a whole lot of areas where I'm below average. So the things that I'm above average in is business and entrepreneurship. I've got this mid-7-figure company helping thousands of people around the world. It's on the Inc. 5000 list. I've also got above average education. I went to Brown University, an Ivy League school. So those are a couple areas where I'm really strong. I know how to think, I know how to create, I know how to get things done. But there are a lot of areas where I'm average at best. And if I were to be really honest, really real with myself, probably below average. You might even say I suck at those things. So I suck at organizing. You can pretty much say I'm a hot mess. There's a lot that you're not seeing around this camera frame right now that's kind of messy. I suck at finances. I suck at managing people. I suck at learning new languages. I'm great at English, but not so great at any other kind of language. I'm terrible at music. I can't sing. I can't tell the difference between tones. Awful at music. And those are just a few things that I really, really suck at. Now, if you were to ask my husband, Murray, he probably has a very long list of things that I suck at in addition to those things. But for the longest time, I didn't want to accept those things that I sucked at. I really wanted to be good at all the things. I wanted to be this modern day Renaissance woman, this Jill of all trades, this person who could have it all and this person who could do it all. And I thought that these things were these blind spots in my life that were holding me back, things that I could improve on. You see, I was focused on my weaknesses instead of on my strengths. But then I got busier and more successful in business, and I realized that I didn't have the time to be good at everything, and that there were a few areas in my life that I just had to kind of admit defeat and say that this is never going to happen in this lifetime without a massive amount of effort. I'm never going to be a musician. I'm never going to speak 5 languages. My house will pretty much never look perfectly organized. I will never look perfectly coiffed and polished. I still don't know how to do my hair, but that's okay. I'm okay with all those things because I'm really good at the things that I'm really good at. And that's one of the key tips, is really understanding the things that you want to be awesome at, where you want to be extraordinary, and embracing those things based on your strengths. And letting go of some of the weak areas. You may need a base level of proficiency or competence just to survive on this planet, but not try to cultivate and build a life based on your weaknesses, because then you're always swimming against the current. And you want to move towards rather than always away from. So the first of our 4 steps in becoming extraordinary in your life is actually being willing to be ordinary, being willing to be average in some areas of your life, so you can be extraordinary in other areas of your life. So on the one hand, you've got awesome, and the other hand, you've got average. And there are places you're gonna be average to have those places where you can be awesome. And you might be saying, Marisa, that's easy for you to say, but I don't have an Ivy League degree like you do. Can I really be extraordinary in my life? No matter who you are, how you were raised, what your current circumstance is, I do believe that extraordinary is a choice. And you see people who are extraordinary in all kinds of situations that are really, truly difficult situations. It's not about where you came from. It's about where you're going. It's not necessarily even about who you currently are, but who you are becoming through your choices every day in the moment. And the truth is that no matter who you are, yes, absolutely, there's at least one thing, if not a whole bunch of things, that you can be awesome at. And the secret in life is choosing that one thing, choosing the things that you want to focus on cultivating. And it could be a tiny little thing, like you could bake the most amazing macaroons on the planet. It doesn't have to be this world-changing thing, but just choose the thing that you want to be awesome at. And the truth is that the Dunning-Kruger effect, it also works in reverse, where people at all levels of performance are equally bad at estimating their performance relative to other people. So that means when you're awesome at something, you actually usually don't know how awesome you are. And when you suck at something, you usually don't know how much you suck at that thing either. So that's good news, because there probably are things already that you're awesome at. And because they're so easy to you, they're so effortless, they're so natural, you actually don't realize you're awesome at them. And the reason why this Dunning-Kruger effect works in both directions is based on what's commonly known as the 4 stages of incompetence. So you've got unconscious incompetence, where you don't realize how badly you suck. And that gives way, as you learn and you grow, to conscious incompetence, where now you have the understanding to realize how badly you suck, which gives way to conscious competence with a little bit more practice, where you have to effort and try in order to be good at something, which gives way through mastery, through excellence, through extraordinariness, to unconscious competence. And when you're in unconscious competence, I live my life for this state. It's like a total state of flow where you're living in your genius zone. You're giving in your genius zone. You feel alive. It's like all time ceases to exist. You're in the moment. You're creating something new. You're just doing it and not even having to think about it, which is why it starts to feel effortless and you don't realize how awesome you are because it comes so easily. How could you be awesome if it's so easy for you to do? So the reason if you ask 10 people if they were above average intelligence, 9 of them would say yes, is because of this phenomenon. They may be unconsciously incompetent and they don't recognize and embrace those areas where they actually are average. And those who don't realize how awesome they are unconsciously competent at the things that they're great at, and they don't even recognize it. So let me give you those 4 tips for becoming truly awesome at whatever it is that you want to become truly awesome is. And the first tip is to know what you want to be awesome at. Know where you want to be above average. Know where you want to be extraordinary. And also where you'll be happy to just be average or even below average. So you can focus on where you want to develop your skills. And ideally focus in a way that aligns with your strengths, rather than dragging your weakness along and trying to improve the things that you truly suck at. Because the truth is you only have so many hours in a day, and you only have so much disposable energy to devote to kind of growing and improving your life in these specific directions. Now, once you choose the thing that you want to be awesome at, the place you want to excel and be extraordinary, tip number 2 is that you want to accept your starting point in that area. Because truth be told, maybe you're average there now, and the path to extraordinary might look like a steep path. But when you accept where you are, it really helps, because you gotta use where you are to get where you wanna go. You can't just leap to the top of the staircase overnight. So just accept your starting point. Embrace it. Love it. Know that this is an area you may not have cultivated. Say you wanna get better at sales and marketing. And maybe you're kind of average or below average, but you feel like you could be really good at it. You feel like you could be awesome. Now, don't be hard on yourself because you don't currently have the expertise, you don't have a decade of experience, you don't have all the tips and tools and strategies and don't know all the ins and outs. The only way to be good at something is to learn it and to develop it. And that takes accepting your starting point, right? And if But FYI, if you are looking for training on how to get your business off the ground and really become good at these things, really become good in the areas where I am awesome, business and entrepreneurship, I recorded a free masterclass for you, which is discover the business you're truly meant to build and how to share it with the world. And these are 7 things that you gotta have in any business if it's going to be profitable. So that leads me to tip number 3. Once you know where you want to be extraordinary, once you accept your starting point, tip number 3 is you gotta be willing to suck. With anything, there's a learning curve, and there are periods where you might have steep growth, especially as you're just learning, but oftentimes that's followed by a plateau. And that plateau can last a very long time before you see another growth period. So a lot of times people give up on the plateau, they give up on the straights before they get to that next period of growth. So you want to really just embrace the plateau. Keep practicing, follow through on your intention. Know that you're probably giving up before you hit the gold, and really making sure you don't give up, that you really keep going if you're really committed to being awesome in this particular area. So you continue to persist and persevere beyond the plateaus, beyond the moments where it's challenging and you feel like you're not going anywhere. Because when you feel challenged, when you feel stretched, it means you're growing, you're creating these new neural pathways in your brain. And those take time to create and then become stronger as you use them more and more, which relates to tip number 4, which is you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. Because the biggest periods of growth, the most rapid growth and acceleration, happen when you're precisely 4% beyond your level of skill and expertise, when you're challenged 4% beyond your current ability. But the thing is that when you challenge yourself every single day by at least 4%, you can be in this rapid acceleration phase. You can really make it happen so fast. And that's what I want for you. When you identify what it is you want to focus on and where you want to be extraordinary, then you accept your starting point. You're willing to suck. You know you got to hit those plateaus to hit those areas of growth. And then you get out of your comfort zone day after day after day. So if this is a path that you want to be on, if you don't want to remain average in your life like the majority of the world, and you accept this invitation to be awesome, to be extraordinary, to do something great, to find that thing where you can really do something, where you can really make an impact, where you can really excel, then follow these 4 steps and get going, because what are you waiting for? We're all only getting older. You can't get back lost time. So make every moment count. And if you want to explore this deeper, you should totally check out my video on the rise of Superman and achieving a peak performance state. And I go more deeply into this 4% rule. Now, I also recommend checking out my $1 million morning routine, which is how I built 3 successful companies without burning out, because it all comes down to how you use your time every single day. So I've got those extra videos for you over there. You can see them right there. Check them out. Keep watching, but most of all, make it happen, because what are you waiting for? Go out there, live your message. You are awesome. You are extraordinary when you make the choice to be awesome and you make the choice to be extraordinary, and you're willing to put the time and effort to back it up and become awesome and extraordinary. You got this. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see what you do in the world. Now go out there and live your message.